old school switchboards could soon be a thing of the past, and it's all thanks to Kiwi company Basis, creators of the world's first electric smart panel. So, thanks to Powerbase, I joined co-founder Julian Collett to learn exactly how this revolutionary piece of tech is redefining the electrical industry.
Welcome to our training space. This is where we're bringing in all of our Sparkies. We run full installation training here, so every single company will go through a full installation of a smart panel, starting from literally the unboxing right through to powering the panel up, connecting with the trade app, configuring it. These are dummy installation cables, and then it'll get to a point where they get to power up that installation. This is our history wall, and it's got the evolutions of the prototypes.
This is like the beginning.
This is the OG.
Yeah.
Built overnight for an investor pitch. This was wildly ambitious, and we were so far wrong. But we used this to present for C-Prize. You know, this was very much, we focused on the user and we tested everything. Then we went to, okay, let's see if we can make something slightly more real and get Sparkies in to test again. This was the first, looks like, feels like, almost behaves like, but has a zero technology in it. So it was almost vaporware. But this is what we could do, full installations. I could do sales demonstrations. This thing went around the country. So this was the first concept, I guess, that we took when we started to try to develop something that we were going to put through compliance and build a real product. And then we set out the milestone of building a compliant smart panel. And the objective was, how quick can you build it? That was incredibly challenging for the team to go from here down to there. So this is now a circuit module, and this is what replaces your, right back to day one OG, traditional devices. So this one module can do the job of any device that exists today, which is, yeah, hard to really put into words how incredible that was.
Julian, thank you so much for having us here today.
No worries, I'm stoked to hear.
Yeah, really excited to check out the space with you. I want to start off by asking you, what first inspired the development for the smart panel?
I'm an electrician by trade, and when we first initially kicked this, I have to give a big kudos to partner in crime, Danny, who's also the co-founder of Basis. He's that guy. He's that serial entrepreneur and incredibly good at connecting dots and problem solving. And at the time, Danny, through his previous role, was looking into the media industry, but specifically something that stuck with him was EVs coming online and what was going to happen with data control in the energy sector as a whole, I guess. And similarly, within the industry, I had a role in the residential sector, and there was a massive pain point, and it was predominantly driven by a lack of innovation or innovative products. And we just used to catch up every now and again, and it was a classic Kiwi story where it was a Sunday afternoon barbecue, and we just started riffing, and it was just, I guess, rolling on ideas. We're not engineers, probably know enough to be dangerous, but so we had to focus on the experience and what that was going to be like, both for the trade, or our two core audiences, which is the trade and consumers.
Can you tell me a little bit about the journey and how we got to here today? I'm guessing there were maybe some challenges along the way, or a little bit about the development from the initial idea around a barbecue to this.
Once Danny and I had figured out that there's something truly valuable here to progress, Danny's background is private equity investment, so he was really well connected. And so Basis is venture capital backed. And so when we had half a story and a general concept or overview of what we wanted to try to do, Danny was able to go and flesh this idea out with some, I guess, key individuals in that sector that he could trust and get their feedback on as to whether this was something that was truly that valuable. And it just started to fly. Everyone we would speak to just was very interested by the concept, or at least by our initial story. We probably thought that we were launching in 2022. I reckon, and we've probably had multiple launch dates that are missed. There's a reason why this product has not been developed, or at least commercially scaled. It's taken a lot of investment and some incredible people that we've managed to hire based in New Zealand. It's been 5.5 years, probably more realistically 5, when we started to have better people than us actually working on this thing. Certainly ups and downs, yeah, for sure. Sort of stressing that point, there's a reason definitely why this thing hasn't been built. But yeah, we're finally, as we say, we're at the start line now.
Yeah, we're here now.
Which is exciting, yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah. Hey, this is a milestone.
Exactly, 100% it is. So let's talk about the smart panel in itself. What exactly makes it so different to anything else?
For the first time ever in the world, you've got a product now that an electrician, through their mobile phone, can digitally configure the safety configuration settings for a circuit. What that means is you've now got a single SKU or a single product which can access any electrical safety setting that's available in market. So the old world, or the world today, is very much driven by static devices, and they're dumb. So there is no additional value apart from that minimum level of safety that Sparkies are installing. Transition to what a smart panel world looks like. Now everything's at touch of a finger within an app. That, in terms of breakthrough technology, is, it's pretty crazy. And then we get into a world which, I think this is where Basis is really going to stand out, both industry and for consumers and homeowners. But we're building this for a platform for growth. This isn't a transactional product anymore. Sparkies are transacting, and it's a volume game. Whereas this is very much driven by creating an ecosystem of digital products and features that can create long-term value for Sparkies and their consumers or their customers. And it's still early days, right? But what this smart panel does truly future-proof both the household, but also that certified electrician or that installer of that product, and the ongoing services and growth that they're going to be able to build off this. So being a Sparky, I'm pretty hyped about that one.
Yeah.
And then, you flip that and you go to a consumer. For the first time, probably ever, we've got a scalable product experience, which is for consumer. Our design intent is to keep everything as simple as you possibly can, but our core focus is reducing the cost of electricity, right? That's only going to ever climb. And it's a really challenging base for your everyday consumer to really understand what's going on. I can imagine your electricity bill, right? No one really knows how it's made up, or even simple little tips and tricks to actually just reduce that. We want to uplift the safety in houses. So every household in New Zealand is the minimum standard, but for an everyday consumer, there's almost little to no value, right, associated to your traditional switchboard. It's scary and you want to hide it away in the home. We want this now to be that centerpiece for the household. It's the heart of the home. So we're investing heavily in that, and we'll be working with electricians a lot to get that true appreciation of why it makes sense to have better safety within a household. And then that final piece is really future-proofing a home. Electrification technologies, they're coming online daily at the moment. It's hard for electricians to keep up with what's going on, and you can only imagine how difficult it is for consumers to even understand or appreciate what these new systems or solutions are in terms of value for them. And what we're setting up here is the beauty of this technology is for every new feature or every new service that comes online for the lifetime of this product is going to be accessible.
So it's collecting data?
Absolutely.
So what sort of data is it collecting?
That high-level top data. So the smart panel by default gets individual circuit data in real time driven into both the trade app and the home app. So the app for the electrician and the app for the homeowner or the consumer. And that insights piece at a circuit level, what we'll be able to transpose that in terms of value to consumers is now we can translate essentially your retail electricity bill, and now we can pinpoint exactly where in the home that money's actually flowing. That's something that could exist today, but it's multiple components or a mashing of solutions to be able to get that. I guess the next piece to that is accessing control. So this is where we call them routines or schedules that you set. It's a concept that lives in that home automation space, is being able to control circuits, turn things on and off, where you can really accelerate and access some quite significant cost savings depending on the home, subjective to the home and how they live and behave with energy. Sort of bi-directional, I guess, what the home's consuming and equally, what it's shelling out.
That's the key benefit for that data is, as you said, being able to pinpoint where things are going from the consumer end. I'm assuming is going to be quite a big thing, something we haven't been able to do before.
Absolutely. It's even just energy wastage, right? Leaving things on standby. You've got stereotypes where you're sucking heaps of power. Well, you don't actually know. The old dad in the house that blames the kids for leaving the lights on. You've got no idea what that translates to in cost. And that goes for anything within a household. So this insights piece, it's easy to overlook, but the actual power or the value and just being able to get a baseline of understanding that is, we should really get a really good step change.
Yeah, sure. A lot of people would love to be able to prove their parents wrong for leaving something on and, claiming that it's using heaps of electricity, or you can pinpoint exactly where things are going. So that could be a really interesting conversation in a household, I'm
absolutely.
sure.
It's going from the black box to then now having a light on everything, right? And all in sort of access at your fingertips.
So when it does come to privacy or cybersecurity, is that at all a concern or something you guys have had to think about at all?
Yeah, because it can be really intrusive, right? Fun fact, during a trial last year, I had a prototype in my house, and being a co-founder of the company, it's free for all. Anyone can have my data. And it got to the point where they could tell when I flush my toilet because I have a water pump. And everything is, just driven by a unique energy insight. So it's really intrusive, but that is entirely locked up. We're essentially followed by the same rules as financial institutions. So it makes it really challenging. because you can do some really epic things if you can open up that data, but you've got to be pro-consumer in this world.
So what sort of new opportunities do you see this opening up in for electricians specifically?
It's really hard to put a fence around it, to be quite honest with you. I sort of touched on it earlier. We're setting this up as a true platform for growth, and it's not a single transaction thing. So anything we build or ship, whether it's got value for the consumer or it's got value for the electrician, there's a model that lives behind that, right? And what I'd love, it's like a legacy thing, right? But if we can get to a world here where contractors are forced to hire someone to sit in the office and actively manage their multiple panels that are living in field, living and breathing, supporting their customers remotely, driving new opportunities or new jobs, new growth, all driven by that unique piece of insight that can drive from the panel and the engagement with that customer. Yeah, we've got some crazy, wacky ideas of things that we can build in time. Yeah, the ultimate goal is if we can drive growth for electricians, I can tip my hat and say, cool, I've done something pretty nice. But it's that impact that we can have on the everyday Sparky that should be quite an exciting space. Yeah.
And I mean, it feeds in quite nicely to my next question, which was going to be how you see this potentially changing the role of electricians in New Zealand.
Yeah, I see electricians as those trusted consultants, right? Sparkies aren't salespeople as such. Some are excellent at doing it. I think what happens, or a tendency that seems to happen quite often, is you almost make the decision up for the customer before presenting them with that option, right? Where we'd like, I guess, to change that mentality is electricians, the electrical trade in general, is fundamental to accelerating electrification. They're the only people in the world who have got the license to be able to carry out this work. And so, and we obviously recognize that. So how you put them basically in that spotlight, and they're the champions of it. And it's trying to get quite a horrible siloed industry vertically to all play nicely. It can't scale without Sparkies.
So what about when it comes to training?
Training's critical. And I think all trades don't do it enough, right? Because you just get busy and you get bogged down. We set that as a precedence when we started Basis, that our first initial runs of training, it's forced, you must do it in person. And you've got to come into our space, or I go on the road with portable training stations, but it's meeting in person and it's opening dialogue. It's very much an interactive session. Our trainings aren't tests, they're confidence building exercises, right? Because this thing is really intuitive. It's quite different. In terms of traditional workflow versus new workflow.
So when you think about sort of rollout into homes across New Zealand, do you see this being something, I guess, to start with being really common, maybe more in new builds, or is it going to be easy to roll them out in that way?
To be quite honest, we don't know, because this product can be retrofitted into a household, much like products today. I mean, the largest part of the market is actually retrofitting into existing houses. The new build sector is obviously an easy one. It's a blank canvas, been a core focus for us in this sort of move to get to market. But yeah, it's an open playing field now. So we're just going to sit back and watch.
It'd be exciting to see how it goes then.
Yeah, it truly is. Yeah.
So looking sort of ahead to the future as well, like how do you see the Smart Panel helping align and work alongside New Zealand's electrification goals?
Smart panels will be the standard. It'll get to a point where you're irresponsible if you don't install a smart panel within a household, because it'll be that appreciation of that value. We live and breathe off our phones, right? We are digital geeks now, and it doesn't matter your age or the industry you live in. We've all got some tie to that digital technology now already. The switchboard on the home is the last thing to be touched. You can look at history. You can look at what happened with LED lights. You can look at what happened with air conditioning units. You can look at what's potentially going to happen pretty soon with solar. There's transitions in core pieces, I guess, within households or installations that do change in time. That core piece within the home, that switchboard, it is so glaringly obvious that it's outdated. It has to change. And for Sparkies, you just got to remain curious and remain creative. Hopefully this is maybe something that reignites that industry to, I guess, realise how exciting that future truly is.
Yeah, well, it'll be exciting to watch, and very much a watch this space, and we'll be keen to see how everything goes.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for your time, Julian. Really appreciate it, and all the best.
No worries, Sherry. Thank you.